Hey guys, what's up? Long time no see, or you know see me. It's been a while. I've been really busy, so I haven't had time to really film. And my reason for busyness is making noise over there. I had my baby. I had my little baby girl, Marjorie Olivia, and I am super excited. I'm about 6 weeks postpartum now, so she's almost 6 weeks old. And it's been fun. We've had a lot of learning to do as new parents, me and Hunter, but he stepped in as like the world's best father and the world's best husband during these last 6 weeks, and I'm so grateful for that. But I figured it was time to, now that everything is settled down, I'm pretty much just staying at home quarantined with her other than finishing some school up. But I figured it was time to sit down and talk about my labor story, because I actually had a really long labor. I had a 48-hour labor. And that is from the beginning of my contractions all the way until she was born. She's so cute over there. So I was 41 weeks and like almost a day when my contractions started. So like what happened is they were talking about wanting to get me induced and stuff like that. But I was like, maybe I can wait like until the end of the weekend. It was a weekend after Easter. It was that Thursday. And I was like, if I can wait a little bit longer just so I can see if she can come out on her own so I don't have to be induced, I want to do that. So I wanted to wait just a little bit longer, like a couple days, at least a weekend. And so on that Thursday night, it was like in the middle of the night, and I woke up from the pain from the contractions. And so that's when I started trying to like time them. She's such a talker. I started timing them, trying to see how close they were. They weren't close at all. It was like half an hour to like maybe 15 minutes. Some of them were. And so the whole next day, I was just feeling contractions, but it was just like they were not close together at all. They weren't really getting that intense. And so the whole next day, it was kind of like them getting a little bit closer. You know, it's kind of just like, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to be sent away right now. So I'm just going to wait until they get more intense, get closer together. I was looking for that whole like 5-1-1 thing where they're 5 minutes apart, each lasting a minute and for at least an hour. And so Hunter was like trying to push me to go to the hospital. I was like, no, they're not even close together. And so that happened. It was literally like 2-3 in the morning when that started, Thursday to Friday morning. And then it continued until about 1 in the morning, Friday to Saturday morning. So what happened was it was like 26 hours of like straight contractions. Oh no, it started at like 1 in the morning before, and then it was like 2-3 in the morning the next morning in the middle of the night. And I was up because I just couldn't sleep. They were lasting a little bit longer, but they still felt like they weren't super close together, and they didn't feel like they were getting intense to the point where I needed to go to the hospital yet. And so Hunter kind of woke up because I was like sitting in the shower. I was going to the living room. I was just kind of sitting through, trying to breathe through them. I was like, I can't sleep. And so Hunter came in the living room, and he was like, so, where are we at? And so he wanted to look at my tracker that I had been timing them on, and he was like, are you kidding me? They've been about 5 minutes apart for the last hour, and you're still saying we can't go to the hospital. And I was like, they're not intense enough. I don't want to be sent away. And he was like, no, we're going. This is ridiculous. We gotta go. And so finally I was like, I guess. And so we ended up going, and because of this whole coronavirus pandemic thing, I wasn't allowed to take him up with me until I was completely admitted. And so I had to go up by myself with like the mask on and everything, and he had to wait in the car. And they were like, you can just text him once if you actually become like admitted into the hospital. And so that kind of sucked. I was like really nervous. I didn't want to go by myself. And so I ended up having to, and then they went and checked me and everything, and they're like, well, you're still only like 2 centimeters dilated, which is what I had been for like the last 2 weeks. And they're like, and like your contractions aren't like super intense, but because of how late you are, we're just gonna keep you until this baby's born. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it then. And then I got to text Hunter. I got to have him come up, and Then the whole next day we were just waiting. So they were like, we're gonna see what your body's gonna do on its own, and then within like 12 hours, if it's not progressing, if we need to help it along within like 12 hours, then we'll start like doing some Pitocin, which I didn't really want Pitocin, but I was like, you know, I just haven't been progressing, so whatever we need to do, because by this point I was over being pregnant. So yeah, so they let my body do what it could. It progressed like 2 centimeters, but not like, it wasn't really going that fast. And so it was like midday on Saturday, and they were like, yeah, we need to speed it up a little bit. So they started putting me on Pitocin. And then that's when I started talking about like when would be the best time to get like the epidural. And then it was just like a waiting game. So for a few hours we were just waiting, and the contractions started to get super intense. I started to ask a nurse, I was like, can I please, like, can we talk about this epidural now? And she was like, well, you can get it whenever you want, but I would prefer if you didn't have it until you're more in like more active labor. And I was like, and then like it got to the point where I was crying after the contractions, and I was like, no, I need this epidural now. Come and stick me in the back and put me out of my misery. And so, and I had never planned on going natural, like completely natural or anything. I knew I had the lowest pain tolerance ever, and so I was like, there's no way, I know I'm gonna need the epidural like probably pretty soon after like they get super intense. And so they did the epidural and stuff, and then after that it was still like this waiting game. And then it was about, I want to say about like 4:30 to 6:30. I can't remember exactly what time. They were saying, they came and checked me again, and they're like, you're about 9 centimeters dilated, so we're going to start setting up this room, because within an hour we're going to probably have you pushed because you'll be dilated enough, and then yeah, we can get this going, and within like 2 hours you're not going to be pregnant anymore. And I was like, yes, so exciting. And me and Hunter were getting super excited. They set up the whole room and everything, and so we were like super excited. We were calling like our parents and stuff and letting them know, hey, like pray for us, this is literally going to happen really soon. They're going to come in within the next half hour or to an hour and check me, and then we're going to go. And then they came in, it was like almost an hour later, and they were like, you're starting to close back up again. And I was like, doctors say what? Like, no, what does that even mean? And they're like, there's just this part of your cervix that doesn't want to dilate all the way, so it's actually, it looks like you went down a little bit. And I was like, no, this can't be happening. And they're like, we're gonna have to up your medicine, and it doesn't look like you'll be pushing yet. And I was like, great. Oh, I got a stubborn little child here. Then they had to up my medicine and try to get me to just dilate all the way. And then there was a point that I guess her oxygen levels started to look a little low. And so I was just laying on my side because I was just like in pain no matter what I did. I had been laying on the bed with the epidural thing in my back, and I was just like, so I couldn't get comfortable. I had felt like I was in pain, and I had to keep shifting from side to side. So then I'm facing away towards like the door. Hunter's over here in his chair, kind of like asleep. And then they had to put like an oxygen mask on me to give her oxygen. Hunter didn't know what was going on. And like 4 different nurses and doctors walked in, and he comes over, he's like freaking out in the face. I can see he's like scared, but I kind of looked like I was confused because I didn't know why he was scared. And then later he explained to me that he thought like something had gone wrong and I had like passed out, because obviously I'm facing the other way, he couldn't see me. He just sees like 4 doctors rushing in, and he was like, what the heck is going on? So yeah, so that was kind of like one of those moments where I was like, I will never forget your face. I am glad you care about me enough to want to make sure that I'm okay when they put an oxygen mask on me. And then they tried to like sit me up to try to get me to just like to get her to like lower, and I started throwing up. Like I hadn't eaten since before the hospital, since like 11 o'clock the prior night. And on top of that, like everything, the contractions, the medicine, they said just like a lot of times when you get to the point where you're like almost fully dilated, you just start to get nauseous. And so I got really nauseous. I was throwing up. I was just like, this is not fun. I am straight up not having a good time. And then they were like, well, we can give you some nausea medication, which I had been taking nausea medication my whole pregnancy because I had just always been nauseous. And so I was like, yes, please pump me full of the Zofran. I want to feel better. And so that took away the nausea, thank the Lord. And so then we ended up waiting, and it was literally about 12:30 when they came in, and they were like, you have reached 10 centimeters. Like, even if you don't feel like you have to push, we need you to start pushing because we don't want you to close back up again. And so I was like, well, I don't feel like I have to push. But they kind of like, they were like, we're trying to do everything so that you don't have to have a C-section. And I was like, okay, I will push. And they were like, she's also facing kind of like a weird direction. I don't remember exactly what they said was going on. It was more like her head was facing upwards towards like my chest or something. I don't remember. But then they're like, hopefully she'll shift on her own as you start pushing and stuff. But it could take up to 4 hours to push. And it's already 12:30. I am completely over it at this point. It had been like 21 hours. And so I was just completely over it. I was like, please don't take that long. And so I am doing my hardest work to try to get this baby out. I am pushing as hard as I can. And it's kind of like a weird sensation when you're pushing, because like certain times you can feel that you're doing really good, and then certain times you're like, that just didn't feel right, and they'll tell you like, no, that you're like, you need to fix this, but then you don't really know how to fix it. You're just like, I'm just pushing in like whatever way I can push right now. But luckily I only had to push for an hour, and then she finally arrived, full head of hair, beautiful, was crying, and I'm crying because I was so happy. She latched perfectly within like 15 minutes of being born. It was amazing, and she's been such a sweet little baby. So that is my 48-hour story. And like, also not to mention, because of this whole pandemic, like the doctors and nurses all wore their masks. I only had to wear them if I was like being transferred from room to room, but then I didn't have to wear them in the room. And then the doctor who stitched me up, because I did tear afterwards, I had a secondary tear, but the doctor who stitched me up had to be in like it looked like a hazmat suit with like a face shield. It was kind of weird. It made the experience a little different. But yeah, so that is my labor story, and now I want to introduce you to my sweet little angel. Crusty girl. So everyone, oh wait, let go of my ears. Let go of my hair, child. So this is Marjorie Olivia, and she is so sweet. Look at your little face. Oh my gosh, I just love you. And she is my little bundle of joy, and Hunter's little bundle of joy, and we just love her. And she's little chunky cheeks now. But yeah, so that is my labor story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I also wanted to announce that I started a new channel, and that is going to be more of like my vlog channel. I know I've posted vlogs from our trips on this channel, but I kind of wanted to make that one like a separate vlog channel, so any kind of vlogs that I do are going to be on there. And I'm starting it up. I'm going to be starting it up with like a week in my life kind of vlog. So that'll be linked down below if you want to subscribe to that, and that'll be more of like my life vlogs kind of like channel. And this one will be my main channel. Right? Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to record again, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!